The future of work is here, and it's remote. Did you know that over 80% of remote workers say they're happier than they were in a traditional office? Or that by 2025, more than 36 million people in the US will be working remotely? That's a staggering 16% of the workforce. Remote jobs are no longer just a side hustle or a perk for a few lucky people, they're the future of how we work. But how can you tap into this remote revolution? How do you land a remote job and not just survive, but thrive in it? In this video, we'll dive into the rise of remote work, the skills you need, and the best strategies to land your dream remote job. You'll discover how industries beyond tech are embracing remote work, why flexibility is changing the game, and how you can stand out in the crowded virtual job market. Ready to break free from the office grind? Let's explore how to make remote work for you. Chapter 1: The rise of the remote revolution. In recent years, remote work has shifted from a rare perk to a mainstream reality. A survey by Gallup in 2021 found that 56% of US workers were working remotely at least part-time. That's more than half of the workforce. The rise of remote work was initially driven by the pandemic, but it's clear now that it's not just a temporary trend. Companies have seen the benefits, including reduced overhead costs, and employees have found the flexibility to balance work and life better than ever. Remote work is also expanding beyond tech. It's now a reality for people in all industries, from healthcare to marketing. For example, many companies in the healthcare industry now offer telemedicine positions that allow doctors, nurses, and support staff to work remotely. This is just one of the unexpected industries that have embraced remote work, showing that the future is full of possibilities for everyone. The flexibility of remote work allows people to live anywhere while keeping their jobs. This is game-changing for people who live in cities with high living costs. For instance, a report from Buffer shows that 32% of remote workers say they chose this path to avoid a long commute. This means people are taking control of their time, focusing on their personal lives, and reducing stress. It's also about breaking down location barriers. Companies are no longer limited to hiring talent from just their city or country. A global talent pool is now at their fingertips, which means you're no longer tied to your zip code to find your dream job. In fact, research from Upwork shows that 22% of the US workforce is expected to work remotely by 2025, further proving that remote jobs are becoming the new standard. Another reason remote work is taking over? The rise of technology. With tools like Zoom, Slack, and Google Drive, staying connected and collaborating with your team from anywhere has never been easier. Companies now rely on these tools to run smoothly without everyone needing to be in the same physical office. The best part? This shift toward remote work benefits the planet. Fewer people commuting to an office means fewer carbon emissions. A 2021 study from Global Workplace Analytics found that if people worked from home just half the time, it would save 54 million tons of greenhouse gas emissions every year. This is one of the unsung benefits of remote work, showing that it's a win-win for the environment and for businesses. Chapter 2: Breaking free from the 9-to-5 cage. Remote freedom explained. One of the most attractive aspects of remote work is the freedom it offers. Gone are the days of punching in and out at a strict 9-to-5 schedule. With remote jobs, the focus shifts from hours worked to results achieved. This allows employees to work when they feel most productive and manage their time around personal priorities. But, how do you create that balance? It all comes down to setting your own schedule. Some people prefer early mornings, while others thrive late at night. A study by FlexJobs found that 76% of remote workers say they have better work-life balance than when they were in a traditional office setting. This is because they can structure their days in a way that works best for them, whether it's spending more time with family, exercising, or pursuing hobbies. Remote work isn't just about flexibility in hours, it's also about location. People are no longer tied to a specific city or even country. The digital nomad lifestyle is booming, with individuals traveling the world while maintaining their careers. According to a report from MBO Partners, over 10 million Americans are now working remotely as digital nomads. This level of freedom is empowering. It's no longer just about living for the weekend. With remote work, you can design a life that gives you both financial security and the freedom to explore. Whether that's spending a few months in Bali or just cutting down on your commute time, remote work is all about customizing your career to fit your life. However, there's a catch. This freedom can be overwhelming if you don't create clear boundaries. Working from home can blur the lines between work and personal life, which is why setting up a dedicated workspace is key. In a study by the Harvard Business Review, remote workers who set up a home office were 22% more likely to report a positive work-life balance. It's also important to note that remote work doesn't mean being isolated. In fact, many remote jobs encourage regular communication and virtual social events. A survey by Owl Labs found that 50% of remote workers feel more connected to their teams than when they worked in an office. This shows that, even from afar, it's possible to build meaningful relationships with coworkers. Chapter 3, Top Industries Dominating the Remote Job Market. So, where are the remote jobs? The answer might surprise you. Tech is still the king of remote work, but industries like education, marketing, and even legal services are growing rapidly in the remote space. In fact, in 2020, 20% of remote workers were in the tech industry, but the rise of remote education roles pushed that number down as more people began working as virtual teachers and tutors. Tech roles such as software developers, data analysts, and IT specialists are still among the most sought after. According to Glassdoor, software development is one of the highest paying remote jobs, with salaries averaging over $100,000 per year. But these roles aren't the only ones you can get remotely. Marketing and sales have also made huge strides into the remote world. Social media managers, content creators, and digital marketers can work from anywhere. Marketing is especially ripe for remote roles because the job primarily involves working with digital platforms, which don't require physical presence. According to the 2020 remote work statistics by Buffer, 11% of remote workers are in marketing, and it's expected to grow. The healthcare industry is also adapting. Telemedicine has exploded, with doctors, therapists, and nurses working remotely to provide consultations and services to patients. A report from the American Medical Association shows that telemedicine use in the US jumped by 154% during the pandemic. Even as things normalize, remote healthcare options are here to stay. Education, once heavily dependent on in-person learning, is also pivoting to remote. More schools and universities offer remote learning positions, from teaching assistants to full professors. Online course providers like Coursera and Udemy have also created a huge demand for content creators in educational fields. Lastly, legal services are getting a remote facelift. Virtual law offices are on the rise, especially for tasks like contract review, legal advice, and document management. Law firms are realizing they can save on office costs while still offering top-notch legal services remotely. As these industries continue to grow, the possibilities for remote job seekers only increase. Whether you're a tech whiz or a teacher at heart, remote work has expanded to almost every sector imaginable, and this trend is only going to continue. Don't forget to subscribe for more valuable insights on how to land and thrive in your dream remote job. Chapter 4, The Skills You Need to Stand Out in a Virtual Workspace. Working remotely is a different beast than working in an office. To succeed in a virtual workspace, you need a unique set of skills. One of the most important skills is time management. According to a study by Flex Jobs, 60% of remote workers say they struggle with managing their time effectively. Without the structure of a traditional office, it's easy to fall into distractions. But with the right habits, you can thrive. A simple strategy is the Pomodoro technique, where you work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. This keeps you focused and avoids burnout. Another crucial skill is communication. When working remotely, you're often communicating via email, Slack, or video calls. Clear and concise communication is essential. A study by HubSpot found that 86% of employees and executives cite ineffective communication as the primary cause of workplace failures. Remote workers must become adept at using written and verbal communication tools. Always be clear, direct, and respectful, especially when communicating with a global team across different time zones. Self-discipline is another must-have. Working from home means there are countless distractions, from laundry to kids to the TV. To combat this, create a structured routine. According to the State of Remote Work report by Buffer, remote workers who establish a daily routine are 2.5 times more likely to feel productive. Stick to your schedule, take breaks, and avoid the temptation to let personal tasks creep into your workday. Technical skills are non-negotiable for remote work. You'll need to be familiar with collaboration tools like Zoom, Slack, and Asana. A survey by Buffer shows that 50% of remote workers say that learning new technology is the most important skill to succeed in their role. The more tools you master, the more valuable you become to employers. Even simple skills like using Google Drive effectively can set you apart from others. Lastly, adaptability is key. Remote work environments can change rapidly. A strategy here is to stay flexible and always be willing to learn. Research by McKinsey shows that companies with adaptable teams are 2.5 times more likely to outperform their competitors. The more you can roll with the punches, the more successful you will be. Chapter 5, The Remote Job Hunt. How to find legitimate opportunities. Finding a remote job is a bit different from a traditional job search, but it's not impossible. The first step is to identify where the legitimate remote jobs are. Websites like FlexJobs, We Work Remotely, and Remote.co specialize in remote opportunities. In fact, FlexJobs reported a 15% increase in remote job listings in 2021 compared to the previous year. These websites are a great place to start your search because they vet their job listings for authenticity. One of the key strategies is tailoring your resume for remote positions. Highlight any experience you have with remote tools, self-management, or virtual communication. A study by JobVite found that 52% of employers consider previous remote experience as a significant plus. Even if you don't have remote experience, demonstrate how your skills can be transferred to a virtual role. Show that you can work independently and manage your time effectively. Next, leverage your network. Remote jobs aren't always posted on job boards, many are filled through referrals. LinkedIn is a great platform for networking. According to a LinkedIn survey, 85% of all jobs are filled via networking. Reach out to people in your industry and let them know you're looking for remote opportunities. You'd be surprised how many opportunities come from personal connections. Don't forget to customize your cover letter. A generic cover letter won't cut it when applying for remote roles. Make sure to explain why remote work is a good fit for you. Mention how you've successfully worked independently in the past or how you thrive without a traditional office environment. A personalized cover letter increases your chances of standing out by 20%, according to a study by Career Builder. Another key to finding remote work is staying organized. Keep track of the jobs you've applied to and follow up regularly. Use tools like Google Sheets or Trello to stay organized. According to a report by Workopolis, applicants who follow up within 1 to 2 weeks of applying have a 30% higher chance of getting hired. Finally, be patient. The remote job search can take time. According to the 2021 State of Remote Work report by Buffer, 42% of job seekers report that it takes at least 3 months to land a remote job. Don't get discouraged. Stay consistent with your search, and keep refining your resume and application process. Chapter 6, Mastering Remote Work, Tips for Success Beyond the Interview. You've landed the remote job. Now it's time to thrive in the virtual workspace. The first tip is to create a dedicated workspace. According to a study by Owl Labs, 65% of remote workers say that having a dedicated office space is key to staying productive. Whether it's a separate room or a corner of your living room, having a set space where you only work helps you mentally separate work from home life. Next, set clear expectations with your employer and your team. In a remote setting, it's easy for communication to slip through the cracks. A report by Gallup found that teams who communicate openly and set clear expectations are 25% more likely to meet their goals. Make sure to check in regularly with your manager and ask for feedback on your performance. This keeps you aligned with your team and helps you stay on track. Time management is also crucial in remote work. One strategy is to use the 2-minute rule. If a task can be completed in 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. This helps prevent small tasks from piling up and overwhelming you. Additionally, set boundaries with your time. As a remote worker, it's tempting to work late or check emails at odd hours. But research from the American Psychological Association shows that employees who set clear work hours experience less burnout and more job satisfaction. Building relationships with your remote team is essential. Even though you're not in the same office, you can still form strong connections. Schedule regular video calls with coworkers to stay connected. A study by Buffer found that 43% of remote workers say loneliness is a challenge, but staying social helps combat that. Host virtual coffee breaks or participate in online team building activities to strengthen relationships with colleagues. Lastly, take care of yourself. Remote work can blur the lines between personal and professional life, so it's important to take care of your mental and physical health. According to a study by the World Health Organization, remote workers who maintain a healthy work-life balance are 40% less likely to experience burnout. Take regular breaks, get outside, and make time for self-care. A healthy worker is a productive worker. Mastering remote work isn't just about being good at your job, it's about balancing work with life, staying connected, and continuously learning. If you follow these tips, you'll not only survive in the remote world, but you'll thrive. Be sure to subscribe for more tips and strategies on how to succeed in remote work.